RNC. So she is making her way over here now. We're going to talk with Kari Lake about her speech last night and about what it is moving forward. This is such an important campaign, and I think this week really could solidify the lead that it looks as if has been happening for Donald Trump since Saturday, and actually since that debate that happened. So those are the big issues. And last night was keep America or make America safe again. And Kari's making her way over to the table right now. So we'll let her jump in the seat. I know, catch your breath a little bit. It's kind of like watching you in the building is kind of like watching Elvis in this building. You are.
Come on, Mike.
Well, come on. We said hello in passing as you were running from one to the other. Let's talk about that first.
Well, I came over to do 2 interviews, radio, and then I ended up doing about 20.
Well, and that's been the life of it, and that's how it's been. Danny, our reporter, was asking some questions of people from around the country and asking them what they know about Arizona and Arizona politics, and your name came up more than any other name here this week. So how is that for you to be that kind of Arizona representative and center of attention nationally in the Republican world?
I think it's a gift. I'm really happy. I mean, name ID and name recognition is important in politics, but more importantly, I like that the reason people do know me is because they know I care and I'm a fighter. I want to have a better America for my kids. I'm already getting up there in age. I'm hoping to have a couple more good decades.
Listen,
Mike.
That line last night, the hot flashes line last night was classic. That was a classic line last night.
I said, look, we need to send a fed-up middle-aged mother to a fed-up middle-aged woman to Washington D.C. to get something done, and I haven't even started my hot flashes yet, so it's going to get even more intense.
I think you actually said the only thing more dangerous than a mama bear and her cubs is a middle-aged woman in Washington.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's
so
right. I ad-libbed that, so I don't.
That was terrific.
It wasn't.
It was a funny line. Let's talk about.
But really quickly,
no.
The love here is amazing, and. The media just doesn't reflect that. They always try to tear me down. I mean, you know me. You've known me for a long time. I'm a good person, and you're a good person. And so many people just want our country to start coming together and doing the right thing. And I think that America First policies are the way to accomplish that. The love I get here is wonderful. It's also helpful. Name ID, I always talk about this on the campaign trail. I've got great name ID. I have the same name ID that President Trump has in Arizona, which is wonderful. It's helpful when you go into a room and you don't have to go, hey, you don't know me, but I'm running for office. It's helpful when you're needing to do fundraising. This is going to be an expensive race. We just raised $5.2 million in the last quarter, which is great. It's better than I think almost any Senate candidate out there on the Republican side. But the Democrats always find money from God knows where and God knows who. And this is why it's important to have somebody in this race on the ticket who can actually has that name ID and is able to raise money across the country. It's going to take money from across the country to win this race, and I'm positioned to do that. Our polling looks really good. We're now up over Ruben Gallego, and people are starting to figure out who this guy is. He's voted with Joe Biden and Kamala Harris 100% of the time. He's too radical for the squad. The squad hasn't even voted with them 100% of the time, and now he's trying to paint himself as a cross between, G.I. Joe and Mr. Rogers, and he's much more like Nancy Pelosi with a beard.
So let's talk about the fallout and maybe the silver lining from the tragedy that almost happened on Saturday. The president said he's altering his speech. He's going to talk about unifying the country. There's one thing, I've been around this for a long time, as you have. I have not seen people as unified as I've seen people truly trying to be here. That it seems like fences are being mended. Last night with Nikki Haley speaking. Do you feel that as well? Do you believe that that's happening within the Republican Party?
I think President Trump has wanted that. And last night we saw a powerful speech from Ron DeSantis, the Florida governor. He's coming around. I think everybody who was at one point running against President Trump almost everybody has come into the fold, and many of them were given speaking slots, which was really great. They brought down the House. Ron DeSantis did a great job last night. I've always wanted to bring all Republicans together as well, and I'm still, reaching the olive branch out. My hand is out, and President Trump's hand is out now, and he's asking people who aren't with him to reach in and grab his hand. And we are going to have a massive cleanup job after the last 3.5 almost 4 years of Joe Biden and these disastrous policies of the Democrat Party. It's going to take all of us to do it. I want all Republicans involved in this movement. I want independents. I actually want disaffected Democrats to come on over, because when we all come together as Americans, there's absolutely nothing that we can't accomplish.
I thought it was profound yesterday. I had Meghan McCain on the show, and she talked about how horrible she felt, that she honestly was praying for the Trump family and saying that, it's well chronicled what happened between her family and the Trump family, but she truly wants to bury the hatchet, and she wants this to be a unifying moment, and was extending the olive branch, just as you said. And I thought, that is a huge step to hear, and I think that that's going in the right direction. But I want to ask you,
sometimes it takes something so horrible
but
to just shake. I mean, we all know this, and I know that you're a believer, but I just got chills again thinking about it. Had President Trump not turned to look at that graph,
which he never does, he always looks at the crowd,
and he turned and a half an inch of a different angle, and we would not be talking about what we're talking about right now.
No.
And so sometimes tragedy can bring people together, and I really applaud Meghan if she was saying that. I missed the interview, but I really applaud her, and I thank her for that. I really want to come together with all Republicans. We can't afford to be divided right now.
No, we can't, and no one in the country can. I think that this has got to be something the country gets behind. One last question. We had this morning the mom who spoke last night, who lost her son to fentanyl, and her children were born in Scottsdale, which I didn't know. And can you talk just for a moment about last night, Make America Safe Again, and what that meant to you?
We talked a little bit in my speech about it. It's really the hardest thing on the campaign trail for me as a mother has been when moms or dads come up to me. They usually wait till after an event, and I usually stay and try to talk to everybody, and you can just see the pain in their eyes, and they walk up and they grab me and they say, I lost my 19-year-old.
Yeah.
A fentanyl pill, a pill laced with fentanyl killed him. The hardest one was, I lost my 22-year-old daughter. She took what she thought was a half a Xanax pill, and she's gone, and she had a little boy. Oh. And so we're losing a generation, and not enough people are talking about it. 100,000 a year, I think it's more than that.
I do too.
So that means in Joe Biden's time, we're getting up to 400,000 people, and they're young people primarily. The potential we're losing, the human potential there, the lives they would have led that we're not going to get back. We don't have to be the fentanyl pipeline. We can solve these problems, and President Trump wants to get tough. We got to start with where did the ingredients originate? In China.
Yep.
He was ready to make a deal and stop that. And if they're not willing to make a deal, we need to stop the ships that are bringing it in. And we need to confiscate those ingredients. And then we have to go hard after the cartels. No more slap on the wrist. We've got to bring down these narco cartels that are not only smuggling drugs, but they're smuggling children and human beings into our country. We got to make a big change. And I know that it's not going to happen with Joe Biden. This is the Weekend at Bernie's administration. We need strength, and we know President Trump is strong. And I applaud him. I've known him for a while now. We're good friends. He called me last night, and I'm really happy that he really truly wants to bring people in. I think it's going to happen. He's going to bring this country together and be the strong leader we need at these very, very dangerous times. And I'm ready to go to Washington, D.C. and help get things back on track, make sure we get a great agenda, some good cabinet picks in there, and then make sure Arizona can be the beneficiary and grow, watch our economy grow, become safer for all of us.
Kari, I appreciate the time as always. Your people are giving us the big whirl sign of you have another place to be. But thank you as always for the time. And I hope you'll come back in Phoenix and come see us. And we'd love to have you on more.
I would love it. Thank you, Mike.
Always great to
wonderful.
See you. Thank you. Kari Lake, Senate candidate, joining us for a few moments. We're going to talk about a lot of this coming up in a few moments as there is more.